another episode of NBA 2K12 Mavericks franchise. And now today's video, we're going up against the Utah Jazz. Now I remember that happened now. The NHL turned now for team is Arizona Coyotes going to relegation in Utah in real life. So let's check out what happened here for NBA. Autumn practice with Blazers. Unknown to Vucevic. Jericho voices frustration. Coke rejoins the Thunder. Ooh, 5 years. And then as you can see, the Heat 9-game run right there. So in my last episode, reading up overtime and another close game by 1 point wins of 52 points from Shannon Brown. Steve Nash is 29 and 20 assists. That was a best assist of the year. And Dirk Nowitzki scores 74. Let's check out that happened in my last episode. That injury cheese by the Dallas Mavericks is out for 1 to 2 weeks due to lower back strain. So let's go and turn on the Colts. And now we're going up against the Utah Jazz. So that's it for it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. We'll see you hopefully subscribe and we'll be back and enjoy this video. Let's check and going to retro for the Utah Jazz from 2005. Let's get back in the game.
Thanks for tuning into the NBA here on 2K Sports. It's Monday Night Basketball. It's Devin Harris and the Utah Jazz going up against Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. And that's all for now. Time to hand it over to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. I'll be back with more at halftime.
It's an All-Western Conference matchup, and today's game is the Jazz coming to town for this one. Very excited to bring you this edition of our NBA broadcast here on 2K Sports. Clark, Doris, and Steve are with me. This is Kevin Harlan, and welcome to our broadcast of the NBA. And the injury to Jason Terry, the Jet. Clark, this is really big news.
Yeah, he got hurt in their last game, Kevin, and he could be out for a few weeks. They'll just have to do the best they can without it.
Well, hopefully a few weeks is all it is, because there's a chance it could be more serious than that. We'll see how his rehab goes.
And checking out Utah's opening lineup, Paul Millsap and Al Jefferson up front. Devin Harris is out there at Bell, and it's Miles in at the 3, the small forward. And for the Mavericks, Carter is out there with Jason Kidd. Then there's Marion. Then there's Nowitzki. And it's Odom in at the 4 spot. And so it's the Mavericks getting on the board first. And the basket by Harris.
You know, he's really one of those guys that you just have to sit back and really appreciate, fellas. I mean, he is a marvelous offensive player. Boy, the Western Conference. It's just proved to be too much for the Jazz to handle effectively last season.
Let's send it out to Doris Burke, who caught up with head coach Rick Carlisle. Doris?
Kevin, adding a few more pump fakes is what he is instructing his inside players to do. They are facing a good shot blocking team, and if they can keep them guessing on when to jump, they'll be in a better position to get uncontested looks at the hoop. Not an easy thing to do with a shot blocker hanging around, Kevin.
Wonderful, Doris. Thanks for the report.
You know, that strong defense on the other side obviously has them a big concern.
Yeah, no question. And they're so good when you isolate, they're going to really close you down. So you've got to keep player movement, ball movement. Try to get that defense on the move. That's the only way you're going to get good shots against this team.
And making a change here, the Mavericks. Stevenson's checked in. Clark going back to the Jazz and the rest. Losing an elite guard like Williams did not help. Stevie's going to make it. Difference for New Jersey, but I think that's going to be a huge void for Utah. What do you think?
No question. This league is all about point guards, Kevin, and to try to win in the Western Conference against guys like Steve Nash and Chris Paul, it's going to be tough for the Jazz. In fact, 31 of their 43 losses last year came against Western Conference foes.
Three-pointer, Bell. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. Bell's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Another 3 for Dallas.
Now they get those 3 points back in a hurry, don't they?
Yeah, they sure did. Didn't take them long at all to respond.
It's amazing. Jason Kidd has now played 18 years in the NBA, and he's changed his game some. He's become more of a spot-up shooter. He's not quite as strong and fast as he once was, but still a great leader and a great point guard for his team.
From outside the arc, that's good for Nowitzki, and the assist by Odom. 6 points for Nowitzki. This is DeBell. Kicks to Jefferson. And Utah again with the bucket. Going back to what you said about Kidd, he really became a deadly guard when he improved his jump shot that you mentioned. And his three-point shot, I think those numbers would surprise me.
Kevin, think back to Magic Johnson in his career. Michael Jordan in his career. The great ones always are adding something to continue to be effective at a high level, even when they slow down, even when they don't jump as high, even as they age. Case in point, Jason Kidd. That's a shot that he makes at over 40% now. So he's a weapon from that arc.
That's a great point. 4 on the shot clock. Good. Bell's got 8 points.
A nice piece of work there. Find a little space and pull the trigger.
And there's Dirk Nowitzki on the assist by Kidd. And this game is tied up now. Top of the key. And again, it's Utah.
Right out of the gate, just filling it up.
Both teams are, guys. I mean, points coming fast and furious.
Guarded by Harris. Leaner from distance. And he knocks down the jumper. Kidd's got his first 2 points of the night. Here comes Harris. 26 points for him last game against the Spurs in San Antonio.
You know, Dallas survived the Blazers in round 1 and had to deal with a much bigger threat in L.A. in round 2.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Jazz. Back to the Mavs for just a moment. What a message they sent, Steve, by sweeping the Lakers in 4.
Well, that was the point where you knew they were a championship caliber team. I mean, they were, a lot of people expected them to actually lose to Portland in the first round. When they won that series, it was like, okay, but you sweep the Lakers, man, that's something.
Here's Jefferson. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against San Antonio. Here's Robinson. Bangs home the trifecta. Robinson's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. And here's Stevenson. Right now averaging 7 points a game. And that one's good.
Now, you guys know the 3-ball is his bread and butter.
Here's Harris. And Millsap backing in. Tipped.
Unnecessary pass there. He's got to make a better decision.
There's the 3. Another 3 for Dallas.
But with the defense recovering into the lane, you've got a wide open shooter at the 3-point line.
Here's Robinson. And the Jazz another 3.
I like that. Run to the 3-point line, find a wide open shot.
Now the Mavericks with it. They come into this having outplayed Phoenix the last game.
They would have liked to have won it in regulation, obviously, but that didn't stop them. They came out firing in the overtime and got the victory.
Steve, you really can't deny that they clearly were the more aggressive team in the extra session.
And here is Harris. Dirk Nowitzki getting his 3 to go. Backing down is Jefferson. Deflected by Nowitzki. Tries for the alley-oop.
Switch hands! That should be illegal, Kevin.
Tell you what, they were in full attack mode there on that fast break.
I agree with you, Steve. I mean, they got right after it.
Here's Harris. The shot will not go. The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Mavericks lead by 5.
And that first quarter was all about pace, guys, because this club really got out into transition, and that's how they built this lead.
They like to play fast, and they're doing a nice job filling the lane.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
The NBA season picks up steam. Kevin Martin and the Houston Rockets go up against Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs. Live this Friday night.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. Here's Bobois. It's a 5-point game. So with Nowitzki sitting on the bench, here's who Rick Carlisle's going with. Marion is out there, Peja Stojakovic. And there's Carter. Then it's Bobois, and it's Haywood in at the 5, roaming the paint.
You know, looking at Vince Carter, in his prime, I thought he was one of the greatest scorers and dunkers in the league. Maybe top 5 in both categories, but now at 34 years old, he's grounded a bit.
Here's Bobois after the basket by Utah. And then Carter with the dunk.
Well, that's the way to bang it, fellas.
Not just par for the course for this guy.
So true. He's one of the league's best finishers. Without a doubt.
Here is Watson. We're talking about Vince Carter. Not one to ever make excuses, but you heard through the grapevine, Steve, that his knees are starting to be a problem for him.
Well, Clark mentioned his age. I mean, that's just the reality of playing in this league, particularly somebody like Vince Carter, who's a high flyer. You think about all that impact on his joints and his knees and his ankles. It takes its toll. And, you know, his days as a superstar are behind him, but Carter still with the ability to be an effective player out there.
It's stolen by Bobois.
Well, that's a really slick move to come up with that steal. So now that's twice we've seen the offense collapse. That's back-to-back empty trips because of turnover.
Yeah, and that's going to be a problem because now all of a sudden you start turning the ball over, you lose all offensive rhythm and flow.
Stolen by Miles. Stolen by Haywood. And here's the break. Stojakovic gets to Bobois. Goes back up, and it's sent back by Jefferson. Utah trailing here, and this matchup with the Mavericks, it's the first meeting of the season.
Well, and for the sake of bragging rights, it's in effect a best-of-3 season series between these two clubs, so they kind of want to get off to a good start here.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Lamar Odom, he's checked in for Peja Stojakovic. Johnson comes in for Vince Carter. And Jason Kidd has subbed in for Roddy Bobois. Then for the Jazz. And Cisco Elson's checked in for Jefferson. Millsap comes in for Derek Favors. Robinson is subbed in for Raja Bell. Going back quickly to what Steve mentioned, almost like a mini playoff series when you face a team 3 times in a season.
I think so. It depends on how soon you meet them within that season. Obviously not quite as important as the postseason, but you do know somebody's coming out on top after that third meeting.
Shoots the 3, and the Jazz another 3.
9 straight points for them off of wide open looks from deep. Something has to change for this deep.
Yeah, they're just giving up too many easy shots out there. They've got to close out harder, get a hand up, make him put it on the floor. Well, the Jazz have been such a model of consistency for so long as a franchise. That's why last year was strange seeing them finish below 500 and out of the playoff picture.
Watson with it. 8 points for him. He feeds it to Robinson. 6 to shoot. And it's Johnson picking him up. Robinson dishes to Watson. The first free throw is good. A different look for Dallas. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Haywood. Peja Stojakovic comes in for Sean Marion. And it's Stevenson in for Johnson. The Jazz also changing it up. Mahinmi's checked in, and it's Bell in for C.J. Miles. So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe. And so here is Dallas. Nowitzki for 3. That's good. Nowitzki's got 16.
I'll tell you what, he's draining the 3-ball at will, guys.
Yeah, he is, and they got to find a way to get out there on him.
Here is Watson. He's guarded by Stevenson. Now Watson, 9 points in the game so far. From past the arc. Second chance shot, and that one's good. Millsap. Millsap's got his second basket.
Defensively, you have to get a body on somebody every time down the floor.
Lets it fly, and Dallas again with the bucket. 1:14 left to play here in the half.
What a year it was for Paul Millsap last season, guys, with Carlos Boozer leaving for Chicago as a free agent. Millsap stepped into that starting power forward role and really delivered for Utah.
Here is Mahinmi. Impressive fadeaway right there. Here's Stevenson. They lead by 1. Back to Millsap and Boozer. You could see Millsap, Clark, as a backup, had the talent with Boozer ahead of him all those years up in Salt Lake.
Yeah, he certainly did. I mean, Utah had one of the best 1-2 punches at that position, Kevin. But it just didn't make sense again to keep both of them because you saw Millsap being able to be an effective starter and a little younger than Boozer as well. So I think it made sense to give him the nod.
Fader on the way. And again, Dirk Nowitzki. Nowitzki's got 20.
He's a big reason why they have the lead right now. He's made all of his field goal attempts thus far and remains hot from the floor.
Watson kicks to Mahinmi. The baseline J. Can't get it to go. Mavericks leading by 4.
Good idea. Hold on to the ball. Take the last shot of the quarter.
Yep.
Another fast break move. They're just outrunning their opponent here.
You know what, Steve? I think the defense has left themselves vulnerable, and they're learning the hard way that speed definitely kills.
7 seconds left in the second quarter. Stevenson inside the free. Good!
Ooh-wee, Kevin. That was a big... shot to extend their lead and send them into halftime with momentum.
Don't go away. We'll see you in a moment.
And it's a great basketball game going on in Dallas. Now time for HP at the half. The Mavericks off to a good start. They made a point of working the ball around. Great offensive teamwork. For Dirk Nowitzki, a stellar game, no doubt. He's racked up 20 points and has contributed with the assists as well. And for the Jazz, it's been all hustle. Garbage points making up the difference, and right now they're sweeping the streets. They felt the impact from Raja Bell. How's that for a shooting percentage? 100. Yes, 100% from the court. Not too bad. The two players who have had an easy time finishing off around the rim, here are your leading scorers. And now, other NBA games in the books from earlier. Let's check them out. In Philadelphia, the 76ers take the win over the Cavaliers. They're 2 for their last 5 games now. They'd like to ride a little momentum. Andre Iguodala had the team high. And another game that also finished up for Milwaukee, a loss to the Grizzlies at FedEx Forum. Tough one to take, just a bucket shy in that one. Their top scorer was Steven Jackson. And a look here at the other action around the association. The Warriors came out on top against the Kings in Sacramento. So now that's 2 in a row for them. Monte Ellis led the team in points. And now back to the game in Dallas. Glad to have you along with us.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. Mavericks leading by 5.
Boy, how good were the Mavericks last year against the Western Conference? They won 35 times against Western opponents.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. And so in the game for the Jazz, Paul Millsap and Al Jefferson up front. Bella's out there with Devin Harris, and it's Miles in at small forward. Now here is Harris. The feed to Miles. Over Odom. Miles, that's good. Miles has got his second basket of the night. Going back down to the Mavs, they didn't win the division, Clark, but they nabbed the 3 seed in the playoffs. And that played a nice part of it.
Yeah, you know, they edged out the Thunder by 2 wins, and the difference there was the record of those 2 teams.
And the big-time jam. Let's see it again with the Sprite Slam Cam.
Well, that's a dunk you will not see very often. You won't pass that one by.
No doubt about that.
I wish he would, though. Can never see too many of those.
And Nowitzki backs in. Good in the assist to Kidd. 22 points for Nowitzki.
And they are just lighting him up from mid-range area.
You know, sometimes we forget about the value of the mid-range or in-between game. This team has made 8 of their last 10 with that shot, the in-between shot.
Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession. Now let's go to the 2K leaderboard. These teams have been draining everything they've put up this month. The Mavericks, number 1.
Yeah, Kevin, it's been a long month for anybody who plays these guys. I mean, they've been shooting the lights out, and it's been game after game after game. You know, the defense in transition typically is trained to protect the rim and the paint first, and those are the type of open looks you can get from beyond the arc under those circumstances.
Miles, the pass to Millsap. He passes to Miles. 5 to shoot over Odom. Miles, that's good. Miles has got 9.
Boy, it's been a great start for this offense here in the second half. Four for 4.
Carter with the 3. Another 3 for Dallas.
Well, you've got to get the ball out of his hands, bring an extra defender, and force somebody else to beat you.
I agree with you. Make him give it up. Well, I tell you what, the coaching performance of Rick Carlisle in the playoffs last season was, I think, what cemented him in the minds of many as an outstanding coach. We've always known it. He was terrific with Detroit. He was outstanding with the Pacers, and he's got a championship ring with the Dallas Mavericks. Boy, he needs to show more patience with the ball. That steal was easy pickings on such a long pass.
And that's what he does. I mean, he takes advantage. If you're going to play poor defense, he's going to get a hoop easily. Well, going back to Carlisle, I mean, he did such a great job, you're right, Clark, in the playoffs last year, mixing up the rotation and going deep into the well to get the right matchups through every step of the playoffs. And I thought he did as good a job as possible for the Mavericks in that playoff run. That's one of the reasons they won the title. Boy, both teams showing a lot of hustle, Clark.
Steve, especially since halftime, I mean, they're flying around out there giving up a... Oh! How's that for... Finishing with flavor.
Absolutely fantastic.
I think he was saving that one for a special occasion.
Utah calls timeout. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with San Antonio.
Well, the foul trouble was such a big factor in that game, and by the end of the game, they were really in trouble in that area.
Yeah, Steve, those were a lot of free points they handed over from the foul line, and that was a killer.
Peja Stojakovic, he's checked in for Dallas. Bobois comes in for Vince Carter. Derek Favors checked in for the Jazz. Robinson comes in for Raja Bell. Now here is Harris. He's got 6. From deep. That's good. Harris has got 9 points.
A lot of the points they've given up have come on open threes like that one. And that has to be disconcerting and frustrating to their coach.
Well, they should know better. I mean, they read the scouting report. You can't leave these guys wide open on the perimeter.
I like the fact that the Mavs were a really strong team at home, and it shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, it seems like each year they find a way to win in front of a terrific home crowd.
Favors working against Marion. 3-pointer. Gets it to go. Robinson's got his 3rd bucket of the night. Back to the Mavs, that home crowd. They also have another guy who's pretty important in that audience. That's their owner. You know, Steve, he's watching every game in Dallas.
Yeah, from right behind the bench, too. And that's something that the team has grown accustomed to. And Mark Cuban has been a terrific owner for the Mavericks. He's turned that franchise around. And he's really a major part of their culture.
It's Bobois on the wing. The three is launched, and a great assist by Kidd as that one goes in. Kidd's got 9 assists now tonight. Outside Robinson. There's the triple. And good coming on the assist from Devin Harris. Harris has got his 8th assist in the game. Back to Nowitzki. Lets the three fly. Another three for Dallas.
He had his head up and was looking to make that pass all the way. You love that unselfishness.
Goes up from the top of the key. Again, the Jazz score. 29 seconds left in the third. Shot's good by Stojakovic. Stojakovic has got 8 points. Jazz trailed by 6. And here is Harris. 11 points in the game. From 20 feet out. Miles, that's good. Miles has got 11 points here in just the second half.
Too much casual effort here. Lackadaisical getting back on defense here, fellas.
Yeah, it's costing them. That's 7 of their last 10 points that they've given up coming in transition.
He got that one, but he hasn't been producing the way we're accustomed to. He needs to look for a shot a bit more.
Well, it's been an exciting game. Plenty of offense as we head to the fourth quarter. Dirk Nowitzki having a dominant impact in this game.
All game long, he's been dialed in from deep, hitting 3 after 3.
And his sharpshooting display should open up the floor in the fourth quarter, as they'll have to try to clamp down on him from outside, and that could open up other lanes.
And we'll be back momentarily live from Dallas.
This Thursday night, Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers go up against LeBron James and the Miami Heat, live from Miami. Don't miss it.
Now, while we've got a moment, we're going to send it over to Doris Burke for our Spark of the Game, presented by Sprite. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. It's the Mavericks with the spark of the game with that big push we saw. There has been absolutely no let-up, even as their lead continues to grow with each stop. They're using this game to send a message to anyone who is watching, it seems. Guys?
Okay, Doris, thank you. And that run, Clark, really changed the complexion of this game.
Yeah, it sure did. I thought it stirred something up in them that got them on a good run.
Yeah, got the ball rolling for them, and they were able to keep it going from there, guys.
So with Nowitzki sitting on the bench, here's who Rick Carlisle's going with. We've got Bobo, Odom out there with Hayward. Then it's Peja Stojakovic, and it's Stevenson in at the point guard.
You know, guys, this is what happens with him. All of a sudden, he can erupt from the floor.
Price dishes to Jefferson.
You know, seeing Big Al Jefferson out there, I can't help but think of the funnier stories about him. I mean, back in 2009, he lost 30 pounds eating foot-long sandwiches with wheat bread. That really managed to change his body. There must have been something really healthy inside of those foot-longs. I mean, the wheat bread is outstanding. That's a good choice. That's a good eating choice. But there had to be something low-cal in the foot-long wheat bread. Yeah, if he lost 30 lbs.
We've got new science going on. It's
Oh, my goodness.
Watson kicks to Price. That's blocked. Mavericks leading by 7. Three from Stevenson. Another three for Dallas.
And this continues to be a shootout.
Well, I'm a fan as well as a commentator, and I love this fast-paced action. I mean, it's going back and forth, back and forth.
Utah calls timeout. Clark, back to that Al Jefferson story. I wish I could eat 2 sandwiches and lose weight. Huh?
Well, your metabolism is ramped up pretty good. I've seen you throw it down, and you haven't gained a pound.
Well, Clark, look at Steve. I mean, come on, Steve. What's your secret? What's your secret?
Well, I only eat 1 sandwich. Have you guys ever considered that?
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Hi, guys. Over that break, I was able to catch the message Tyrone Corbin was giving to his team. He wasn't pleased at all with their perimeter defense, saying, listen, all the wide-open threes they're getting are killing us. We need to have a lot more defensive activity away from the basket, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Tipped away. Stolen by Stojakovic. Here's Stevenson. And Dallas again with the bucket.
They have no answer for him. He's just putting on a dominant display of offense.
Now here is Harris. He's guarded by Stevenson. Good on the shot.
He got a little room at the rim and laid it in. Great play.
Here's Odom. Stevenson with it. Straight up. And a missed layup.
He's probably better suited sending the ball back out to a teammate because that's not his game right there.
The 3. And there's Devin Harris on the assist by Bell. 14 points for Devin Harris.
And that's his second three-pointer of this half. Looks like he's starting to forget about that poor first half he had. And he knocks down a 3 of his own.
And even if he didn't, he just made it personal coming right back with a 3 of his own there.
Here's Miles. Leads him in there. Harris passes to Bell. Good look. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. Bell's got 4 points this quarter.
And he continues to knock down shot after shot. A perfect shooting day for him so far.
Gets the first. That'll give him a 9-point lead.
And this team has really embraced advanced statistics as they try to get an edge in competition. Like a lot of teams around the league, they're really searching for some answers. Now, in basketball, it's not nearly as clearly defined as it is in baseball in terms of the numbers. But people are finding more and more stats that they're putting to use for their teams.
And making a change here, the Mavericks. Kids checked in. We've got 1:55 left to play in the final quarter. Wasted no time on that one. That's 10 points for Al Jefferson. And Steve, you mentioned the team's trying to improve their competitiveness with advanced mathematics. I love this time. Recent studies show that on average, teams that employ analytics in their departments tend to win about 5% more than those that don't. You know, this goes back to all the thinking in baseball you just talked about. And I really think, Clark, there might be something to it.
Well, there is something to it, Kevin. There's no doubt. I mean, just as we've had technological advances that have helped in terms of how people train and what information is available, how you use information, the same can be said in terms of numbers and statistics in sports in general and basketball in particular. I think every team probably needs to at least explore these advanced metrics and see where they fit in the grand scheme of them being the best that they can be as a franchise and as a team.
It's blocked out of bounds, and they retain possession Here is Bell, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Bell's got 19 points.
No question about it, guys. He's been one of their best performers today.
Nowitzki for three, and the shot is good. And the Mavericks lead by 12.
And how much do you love to see the big fella knocking down that three there, guys?
Here's Jefferson. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
You know, it's amazing. You look at Al Jefferson, so big and strong. He's got a nice post game. But you'd think he'd get to the free throw line more often. He really doesn't get there as much as I think he should.
Back to Jefferson. What Steve was talking about, Clark only 3.5 free throws a game. Not a lot by a guy who gets to the block and down low as much as he does.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's something he's definitely going to have to work on. I mean, in the last 2 seasons, his totals have really dropped from the foul line, and I think that's an area that he'll work on and get better at. He's doing it all for them right now on the offensive side. No matter what the defense has done, they haven't been able to find an answer to stop him, and he's had an answer for every defense he's seen.
And that one's good. 45 points for Nowitzki.
That's probably going to do it. They are just putting this team away.
Steve, I thought they caught fire just at the right time, blowing this one wide open as the clock winds down.
They could have used this run a while ago. It may not make much difference now.
Yeah, they hit that snooze button a little too much because they showed up late for this game.
Well, a lot of storylines in Utah last season. Jerry Stone finally stepping down as coach, and then that was followed by the blockbuster trade sending Baron Williams to New Jersey. A lot of new faces in Salt Lake.
Back to that trade that Steve was talking about. Utah, it caught me off guard. I'm sure it caught you off guard as well.
No question about it, Kevin. I mean, nobody really saw it coming. It just seemed like it was time to start over, and they got right back to work, and now in a bit of a rebuilding mode, if you will.
And the Mavericks call time here. They're winning by 12. We've got 22 seconds left in the game. Peja Stojakovic, he's just in for the Mavericks. Here's Kidd. Here's the three. That's good. And the Mavericks lead by 15.
That's going to do it. I mean, this thing is pretty much over. They played well.
Well, it has been a bit anticlimactic at the end of the game, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
Fires it up. And again, it's Utah.
Just another one of the main post moves down low.
Here's Kidd. Ains from outside. And another basket for Dallas.
Looks like this one's over. They really played well tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we can take that to the other. This game is cooked.
So we see the Mavericks taking the win here. Some days everything goes right for a team, and they say one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
Well, it's time to sing so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Dirk Nowitzki.
Okay, so now the 15-game winning streak continues. Jamar Crawford are now training. And now as you can see, Vince Carter is no longer feeling pain for back spasms, aka lower back strain, and because of the remember that happened last game, November 16 against the Grizzlies, where the injury he lived wide open for Vince Carter, who tried to pass the Carter to take the three, and he suddenly hit by a Grizzly player. So they are out for 1 or 2 weeks due to the lower back strain, and now their back spasms. So now Carter is clear to play. Let's see the injury report. And now as you can see, no, Carter is not in the list now. They're ready to heal. Now they're ready for the healing the player. Chris Paul still not playing as they're out for 1 or 2 weeks due to broken hand. You see the Bulls no injuries, so we're gonna check if there, as Tempo is out for 1 or 2 weeks due to the broken rib. So now let's check out the result. Oh, what's that? Dakota to be without for following the sprained knee. Why doesn't he look there? Alright, let's check out the results. Sixers beat the Cavs as Andre Iguodala gets 31 points and 10 rebounds. Kyrie Irving scores 27 as Iggy gets double-double. Bucks Grizzlies survive by 2 as Rudy Gay and Zach Randolph are combined with 51 points. And Jackson Jennings are combined 47 points, so we can do this. So next up, the Magic lose to the Nuggets in the overtime as Danilo Gallinari scores 36, J.R. Smith scores 31, so they're combined with 67. And for the Magic, Howard is 31, Davis is 23, and Howard is 22. For the Blazers and the Wolves, as the Blazers beat the Wolves, Felton scores 22 and Beasley scores 24. For the Warriors Kings, as Tyree Evans scores double-double, but however they're not enough to lose to the Golden State. They have DeMarcus Cousins scores 22, Ellis scores 21 even without rebounds and 1 assist only. Raptors beat the Nets as despite Brook Lopez scores almost double-double, 46 points and 8 rebounds. And Jonas Spanish Jr. are the player of the game. Mavericks and the Jazz as Kid scores double-double, 10 points, 12 assists. Nowitzki scores 45, 5, so that's the deal. And Devin Harris scores double-double, 14 and 12. CJ Miles and Raja Bell are tied. So it's in Clippers, and the Celtics beat the Clippers. Griffin scores 27 and Allen scores 21. And on the other side, the NBA D-League, they have Wizards beat the Energy and still undefeated. Vipers versus over Sixers, Red Claws over Armor, Defender over Toros, and they only have 4 D-League games together. Let's check out the other games right there. There's no Mavericks game. That's the Stampede take on the Jam, Spurs versus Bobcats, Thunder versus Pacers, Hawks versus Wizards, and the Lakers versus Rockets. I want to have one simulate 4 games. The first matchup, Spurs and the Bobcats as the Spurs beat the Bobcats as Pano Ginobili scores 26 and Kemba Walker scores 25. Thunder and the Pacers, Thunder win it again as Kevin Durant almost near double-double, 41 points and 8 rebounds. Danny Granger also almost a double-double, 28 points and 8 rebounds. Hawks and Wizards, Hawks will win it as Jerry Stackhouse scores 24 and Al Horford scores double-double. John Wall scores 21, and then finally Lakers and the Rockets, and Lakers win that one as 4 road team win in Tuesday night. Yep, Tuesday night basketball. Let's check out the view box for the Lakers. Kevin Martin scores 27, and Kobe also 27. And then for the D-League games, still not be playing, so we're gonna simulate truth date. Let's see the D-League there as Tampa Bay defeat Jam. Now move on to Wednesday. Let's check out their debut. They only have 2 D-League games. Ohio Vipers for the ESPN Spurs versus Knicks, Thunder Raptors, Pistons Bucks, Kings Timberwolves, Clippers Hornets, Warriors Suns, Magic Jazz. For the D-Leagues, Toronto Skyforce, Bayhawks Defenders are top 2 NBA D-Leagues, not 3. So Bayhawks Defenders, not this. Wizards Hawks, Nuggets Nets, and the main game, Mavericks Bulls. So we got a doubleheader on ESPN as the San Antonio Spurs take on the New York Knicks. and the Dallas Mavericks take on Chicago Bulls. They will meet again in 5 weeks, and they met 5 weeks. That's the Mavericks beat the Bulls in the opener. Dirk Nowitzki scores 38 points, and Derrick Rose gets double-double, 21 points and 12 assists. Now we will meet again with Derrick Rose in Chicago. There's no injury for the Bulls, and it happened. There's no injury list. The Derrick Rose. Now Vince Carter will be ready to healing. Team records I didn't have in the last game. I didn't have the record with the Mavericks. As you can see, they're all 2000s and 1990s are scoring less. You can see here LeBron and Dirk are scored 57 and 74. And as you can see, his NBA record were 3 points made surpassed Kobe Bryant for the most 3-pointers made. They did happen back in 2003. Kobe Bryant scores 12 3-pointers made, 45 points against Seattle Supersonics on January 7, 2003, and then it surpassed Nowitzki for 15 3-pointers made in the Slugfest against the Phoenix Suns on December 3, 2011. Then now we're in the next game against Chicago. We'll take on the Chicago Bulls on a huge matchup. Dirk versus Derrick Rose. There will be the meet again. So it's time to save the game, and that's it for now. This is Andre Kenshi. We'll see you in the next game. We'll face against Derrick Rose of the Chicago Bulls with us for the second time as the ESPN matchup Mavericks and the Bulls. So this is Andre Kenshin. We'll see you in the next game. Goodbye, everyone.